should be hitting the record button. And this way we have the ability to share it with others who don't show up, and you can always re-review it because we do post it on YouTube. Thirdly, everyone will be unmuted at the end if you have any questions. I'm sure there's a lot of information that's going to be shared here this evening, so you may or may not have questions, but we're always open to answering them. And generally speaking, marketing was never my big thing until recently. This is why I got into accounting when I went to school, but I found that I absolutely love this subject. And the last point that I want to bring to mind is that you're here to enjoy. This is an educational experience where you put up your feet, you have a cup of coffee, maybe an adult beverage, and maybe learn something and take something away that you can use in your business if you can. We do have an agenda this evening. So we've gone through the introduction. We're going to do a few minutes on getting to know your speaker, and we have a number of topics that we're going to touch upon tonight. Generally speaking, these webinars do not last an hour. I do allow for an hour, but I've seen them last for as short as 40 minutes and for as long as 50. So we try to keep them in a concise period of time so that we're not wasting your time. But who's your speaker tonight? This is me. For those of you that know me, and for those of you that don't, my name is Tamitha Deniers. I am the owner of TD Accounting Services, which is located in Sterling, Ontario. I kid you not, I have Amish buggies that drive past my office every day. I am a certified professional bookkeeper, and I have a number of other titles that I wear. I am a speaker. I'm an influencer in my own community. I am a mentor, and I mentor small businesses and colleagues alike. I have won a plethora of awards over the last few years, all of which I am very proud of. But the one thing that means the most to me is that my clients consider me a badass, forward-thinking bookkeeper that plays golf with 2 holes in one, but has the worst score on the card. So I don't know how I'm going to improve that, but they've got to get better. So why are you here tonight? You are here to learn about marketing your startup. And the first topic or the first comment or question I'm going to ask is, why do you need marketing? Marketing for me is an investment. It is not an expense. It is an expense on the profit and loss or on your income statement, but sometimes an expense really is an investment for your business. Sometimes you have to spend money to make money. And in this particular case, I strongly believe that. But why do you need it? Marketing is needed so that you can educate your customer on what it is that you do, what it is that you can provide, what it is that you bring to the table, and why they need it. How are they going to use it? This is why we need marketing. It is our way of being able to share what it is we're bringing to the table and how our customer could possibly or potentially use what it is. But why do we need it? Well, we need it to engage with our prospective customers. That's first and foremost. We need to engage with them. We're not going to stay in business if we're not speaking and talking to our customer in one form or another. This allows us to bring ideas to them. It allows us to provide to our customer an opportunity to feel and get to know our brand and our identity. This is something that is going to allow us to increase our coffers, increase our sales. It allows us to engage. It also allows us to create a demand for our product. And this is why I love marketing, because I'm finding more and more creative ways to show the customer what it is that I bring to the table. Now, I have a couple of different things that I do, one of which is I have an active and demanding bookkeeping firm, but we also have a coaching program. So there's different ways that I can market these ideas to my customers, and I love the creative ways that I'm finding for my customers to find out about this information and create that demand, that sense of urgency for them to contact me. Marketing converts prospective customers into consumers. There's someone, and I'm not sure who it is, I'm not going to lie, who had said to me one day that it takes someone 10 times to see something before they'll purchase. 10 times. So look at it from this perspective. You're on Facebook, and while you're on Facebook, you see an ad or a pop-up, and it says to you that, I don't know, somebody's selling widgets. And you see it, and, oh yeah, that looks kind of nice. And the next thing you know, 3 days later, you see the same ad, or the same sponsored ad. Then you see it 3 days later. Now you're starting to think, well, maybe I need to take a look at this a little bit closer. So by the 10th day, by the 7th day, you're actually looking at it. By the 10th day, you're buying it. This has been someone who I highly trust has said this to me, so I actually do believe it. Unfortunately, I am a purchaser, so I have found that that actually does work. I don't know about you guys, but it works for me. So marketing does convert your leads or your customers into people that consume your products. This is why we need it. But part of marketing is breaking down different concepts. And there's different ways to market. One of them is your elevator pitch. Now there's a couple of different ways to look at this. An elevator pitch typically can be between 20 and 30 seconds long. And the reason they call it an elevator pitch is because you used to be able to deliver it during the course of an elevator ride. That was back in the day. I hate to date myself on that. Now, an elevator pitch can be a quick, concise message on a digital post. It can be something that attracts someone's attention and allows them to read further on. Now, I spend a lot of time on social. I spend a significant amount of time creating digital content for our marketing. And there's different ways you can use an elevator pitch in digital marketing that increases your customers or your consumers' want to find out more. I'm not going to get into that today, but when we deep dive into social media on our next webinar, we'll go into that in greater detail. But what is an elevator pitch? It is a small speech. We're talking anywhere from 10 to possibly 15 to 20 words. It's a one-pager. It's getting people's attention. That's what it is. It is also a summarization of what your business does, provides, or its value proposition, and how you set yourself apart from your competition. At one time, and this is a famous example of an elevator pitch, Steve Jobs was trying to convince John Scully to leave PepsiCo. And he wanted him to come and work for Apple. So he said to him, do you want to spend the rest of your life selling sugared water, or do you want a chance to change the world? This is absolutely the best example of an elevator pitch I've ever heard. It's clear, it's concise, it's short, it summarizes exactly what Steve Jobs was trying to say, and it set him apart from the competition. If you approach someone looking to employ them, what would you say? I mean, I'm telling you, if Steve Jobs came to me saying something like that, I might have jumped, right? So that's what an elevator pitch is. It's something that you can concisely put out in whatever form of marketing you choose to put it out in, that is going to grab the attention of the person who's reading it or listening to it. Now, some things that you need to remember when you're creating this elevator pitch is that it's not about you. It's not about your business, and it's not about what you are selling and or bringing to the table. It's about them. What is it that they want? What is it what causes them pain? What keeps them up at night? I know that's a little bit cliche and people say that all the time, but it is so true. It's not about what I can do for you. It's about what you're suffering with and how I can fix that. I have to make all of my marketing all about you because that's what's going to bring you in as a person who's going to buy from me. But there are things to remember when you're creating marketing pitches, elevator pitches, or anything else that has to do with marketing. You have to show your passion. So I don't know what the different demographics are that will be here tonight. And I can speak very clearly about my own demographic. And when I'm talking to business owners about bookkeeping and taking their business to the cloud, I have a strong and unique passion about that because I believe in what it is that I bring and how it's going to help you as a business owner. I'm not going to go into that tonight, but bring that passion into what it is that you're doing for marketing purposes, whether that be an elevator pitch or something else. Show that passion because that's what's going to engage your customer. And your pitch is so important. I can sit here and I can rattle on just like this and just keep talking, and you're going to get lost. And it's like I'm trying to cram 6 sentences into an extremely short period of time. Your pitch is so important when it comes to delivering your marketing. And again, this is either verbally, in a podcast, when you're doing a webinar. Pitch is important. The speed of how you talk, it is going to make a difference. Don't rush through it. And end with a call to action. Make it so simple that it's going to put the customer off. Here's another example. I was at a conference not too long ago, and one of my colleagues had mentioned that instead of handing out a business card, what this colleague does is he hands them their phone. And the potential lead looks and is kind of taken aback, and he says to the lead, "Can you put in your name and your email address and I'll follow up with you later?" Well, he's done 2 things here. One, he's made himself vulnerable. Most of us carry our phones, and these are our lifeblood almost. They got pictures of our grandchildren or our children or our dogs. We have personal information on this phone. I mean, potentially this person, this lead, this possible customer could be surfing around in your phone. Now, generally speaking, I would imagine he's not, but that's the impression that you're giving him. You're handing him something that is so personal that most people don't do that. They become taken aback. So here he is, he's entering that information, and now you can follow up with them. It is an easy, simple call to action that gets their attention. And it's something that's going to make you absolutely unique. There are ways to do that, and we can talk about that in the next webinar. Something else to remember is you need to be credible. There's a phrase out there, it's called fake it until you make it. This is not the time to do that. Talk about your successes, but make sure they're truly your successes. Talk about some of the, illustrious partnerships you've created or touch upon them, but don't fake it. Make sure that you're talking about true to life stories because that's going to make you genuine. Now I'm going to go on to networking and collaboration. So this is absolutely one of my most favorite topics because I'm a strong believer in collaboration. One of my colleagues says all the time, and I absolutely believe this, there is a ton of sand in the sandbox. We do not have to fight over it. And what did she mean by that? There's so much business to go around. Trust me, we are not in competition with each other. We're collaborators, not competitors. And I strongly believe that. And I don't believe it matters what demographic you're in. It doesn't matter if you sell products, if you sell services, if you sell widgets. There is enough business to go around. Prime example, Coke versus Pepsi. There's enough business to go around. But I have a phrase for you, or this sentence anyways. Networking and collaboration are extremely powerful. These are tools that can be used to grow your business through connections with industry partners and influencers. That is what networking and collaboration is all about. But let's deep dive into it. So as I'd said, networking and collaboration, there is no competition anymore. This is a great way to market. If you believe that there's no competition, this opens up a huge avenue for you to market your business, because collaboration can do so much for you. Talking with other people in your industry, other people in your network, other people on the street that sell products and or services can give you the opportunity to learn about better business practices. Again, full of examples here. Going to a conference that is being hosted by, I don't know, one of your suppliers. And there are a ton of other people that are there, and those people are, in theory, your competitors. Well, generally, they're not as far as I'm concerned. These people are not your competition. They are collaborators, and you're networking with them in an environment that allows you to learn about better business practices. You can also hit the wrong button here. You can also get access to new contacts by networking and collaborating. So how do you do that? By attending events, going to your local Chamber of Commerce event, going to a BNI event, going to a conference. Networking and collaboration can be done both in person and can be done online. Going to a podcast webinar, going to an online live event that you've been invited to, and there's a list of people there that may or may not have information you want. They may or may not be able to help you. You may or may not be able to help them. But this is going to open the doors for you to have new contacts that you now can network with and possibly open up a huge avenue for you to grow your business. It also provides you with learning opportunities. Great example. You're going to hear all kinds of examples tonight. We have a group of us here locally in Quinte, because we're just around the Belleville, Trenton area. They get together quite a bit, to be honest with you. And we learn from each other. Absolutely. And we give freely to each other so that we all walk away with something from this table. When cloud accounting first came out, we introduced a colleague, and her eyes, I remember that day implicitly. She was so excited. I don't think she went home and slept for 48 hours because she wanted to learn so much about how these tools were going to change her and her business. And just so you know, this particular colleague is the 2018 Global Firm of the Future, and we are extremely proud of her in our space. But those are learning opportunities she wouldn't have received unless she was collaborating and networking with fellow colleagues. And just think how far it has taken her, and we're just so bloody proud of her. It also can provide to you financial benefits. And how can it do that? So look at it from this perspective. If you're networking and you're collaborating with someone in your space, or someone who has a product that is not similar to yours but can complement something that you sell, you can get together, and you're doing this by networking, and you can share marketing space. You can share the cost of it. So that's going to give you a financial benefit that's going to save you money. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that is a good thing if you're starting out. I am going to caveat with one small thing. Be careful. Even though it can provide financial benefits, make sure that you both have similar goals and reasonable expectations regarding the outcome, and that you have an agreement that's signed, because sometimes things go south. And as much as we want to be trusting in others, it doesn't always happen, or it doesn't always work out that way. So just make sure that you protect your own interests too, okay? And lastly, networking and collaboration gives you a supportive network. So when you're having that bad day, or if you're in the service industry and you've lost a client, and that client was, maybe 25% of your gross revenues, you're having a really crappy day, simply put. It's nice to have someone that you can call, text, private message, reach out to, and say, oh, this is just not going to do me good. And you can dump. And it's almost like having a mentor to lean on. It has got to be one of the best points of networking and collaborating that I have come across. There's so many people out there that feel lonely as small business owners. They feel that they're an island in an ocean of water. They're all alone. Networking and collaborating doesn't allow you to feel that way. If I'm having a bad day, I can reach out to someone. If I'm having a great day, I can reach out to someone. And these are colleagues. These are, my husband or my children. These are colleagues. If I have an idea that I want to share, and it's a business idea, trust me, I now can reach out to these colleagues and I can share these ideas with them. And it doesn't, oh my goodness, I have to keep this idea to myself because they're going to steal it and they're going to make money on it. Let's go back to, there's a lot of sand in the sandbox. There's enough business for everyone. And besides, if you have two of you doing the same thing, one of you is going to do it better, right? So let's move on. There's many ways that you can network and you can collaborate. There is the traditional way of doing it. And traditional promotion and distribution can range to a plethora of different ideas. There's physical advertisements. So what is this? This can be the newspaper. This can be a nice magazine. I'm not talking the National Enquirer here. I'm talking a really nice magazine. This can be anything that is paper-based, anything that's a billboard, advertising down at the local rink, and you have those billboards that put up. Oh, by the way, I got to pay that bill. That's physical advertisements, something that is tangible, that I can touch, that I can kiss, that I can look at with my hands. That is tangible. Collaborative spaces and locations. This is a traditional way for you to network and collaborate. And how do you do that? So collaborative spaces. An example would be a pop-up shop. That is a collaborative space. You and someone who has not a competing product, but what's the word I'm looking for? A product that's going to complement what you sell. You come together in a collaborative space, in a pop-up, and you sell these at one location. It's a great way to network. Now, another option is, here we go, collaborative product lines. What you can do is you can get together with someone and you can cross-promote. Now, first of all, you have to connect with them, you have to network with them, and you have to find out what it is that they sell. And what is a great example of this? Wedding venues. So someone does a wedding event and they're showcasing the photographer, they're showcasing the wedding dressmaker, they're showcasing the event coordinator, the flower shop, all of these different non-competitive but collaborative products and services coming together under one roof. This is a fantastic example of networking and collaborating to increase your marketing potential. But that's not the only way you can do this. We can network and collaborate, which is going to increase our marketing, digitally. Now, this is one of my favorite subjects. I have got to be by far I have to feel one of the oldest digitally social media advanced people that I know. Social media And anything that goes with it has got to be one of the most cost-effective ways to not only network and collaborate, but also to market your business. Digital marketing. It says it all. Facebook ads, sponsored ads, Instagram, LinkedIn. It just goes on and on. Like, digital marketing is so vast now, and there's new and up and coming platforms. I would say on a fairly consistent basis. There's a new one that I've been looking at called Vero, and a little out of my league, something maybe my daughter might play in, but it's definitely up and coming, and people are looking at it. There's expert roundups. And what's that? So that's almost getting together at a round table. Remember how we used to do that when we get together at conferences, or you used to do that when you had experts sitting around a table talking about a topic? Doing the same thing, but in the digital space. Doing it on a Facebook Live. This has got to be one of the things that I'm seeing more and more now. Webinars and podcasts. You are actually participating in a digital way to network and collaborate. Webinars are a fantastic way to do this. Podcasts, it's another way. I have seen it work. It's not something that I personally take advantage of yet, but it is coming down. And it's something that I'm seeing more and more that businesses are using or utilizing if they feel confident in that space. Social media engagement. I can't tell you, I just actually did a test so that I could create some assets for something that I'm doing a little later on. And I was testing social media engagement. You would be amazed at how simply liking and commenting on a post will increase your social media engagement because other people see it. And then in turn, their friends see it. This is a great example. Post something out there. I don't care what it is. What book have you read this week? What is a good book you can recommend to me? That is a great post to put out there. So your friend comments on it. You comment back. Another friend comments on it. You comment back, and so forth and so on. You're increasing this engagement. This post is now going to go higher up the scale for Facebook. And they're going to say in their algorithms, oh, this is really good, this is really popular. And not only are your friends going to see this post, but your friends' friends are going to see this post. And your exposure just grew exponentially. Now take that same example and talk about something that you sell, a service that you sell, educating your potential customer about something in general. And then you have your friend engage on it, and you engage back. And someone else engages on it, and you engage back. It's the same thing. So now this networking and collaboration is increasing your reach, which is increasing your potential to increase your sales. I love social media for that. We actually have stopped using all other forms of marketing outside of social media just because it is so effective. Online groups and forums. Pages are great. I'm talking about Facebook right now. Pages are fantastic, and it's a great way to connect with other people. But online groups and forums is a completely different animal. Online groups really truly is allowing you to network and collaborate with just the people in that group, especially if it's a secret group, a private group, a closed group. You're talking and conversing with this 100, 1,000, 10,000 people, and it is very, very specific, these groups. And you know that whatever it is that you're saying, whatever it is that you're discussing, is going to stay within that group. Here's a great example. Mamas & Co. is a group that is a membership only. It's based out of Toronto, and it is for moms that run businesses. Fantastic group. Full disclosure, I am part of their membership. Their page has 1,900 followers on it. Everybody and their dog can see what's posted on that page. But if you look in the group, there's 300 and some people that are there. And of that group, We talk about business ideas, things we wouldn't put out into the public. They could be thoughts and ideas. They could be concerns. They could be, where do I find this? How can I do that? Do I need two HST numbers if I have two separate businesses and they're held by a holding company? Stuff that you don't want out there on a page, but you want a safe environment to network and collaborate in to get these answers. It's a great way to do it in the digital space. Now, this is networking and collaborating. We're going to move on to fundamentals of a marketing plan. And this is where things get pretty interesting as far as I'm concerned. The first thing we're going to talk about is situation analysis, or SWOT. What does SWOT stand for? It stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, right? Your strengths. What is it that you do well? Think about what your unique selling proposition truly is. And your weaknesses. What is it that needs improving? I mean, I'd love to say that I'm perfect, but there's always parts that needs to be improved so that I can have a better marketing plan. What are the opportunities? What are the trends and the demands that are creating openings in my business? What is it that I can do, or what is it that I can exploit so that I can get more sales coming into my coffers? Those are opportunities. We're not done yet. What are the threats, right? What are the obstacles that are in my way? What are the things that I have to consider as I'm creating this marketing plan to better my business? Situation analysis. That's number one. Number two, for fundamentals, is a target market profile. So when I started TD Accounting Services, I didn't have a marketing plan. I winged it, to be honest with you. I kind of threw stuff in the air and I just waited for balls to drop. That's exactly what I did. Move ahead 5 years and I actually have a marketing plan, and I'm starting to see things falling into place faster, more effectively, and I don't feel like I'm just waiting for things to happen. But one of the things that I had to do was create a target market profile. Someone else one day called it an avatar for me, the perfect customer avatar. And I said to them, but I don't have this computer generated screen person. And that's what I thought an avatar was. So they smiled, actually, they laughed at me, and they said, that's not what an avatar is. So the idea is to create this perfect picture of who it is you're selling to. How old are they? Are they married? Do they have kids? Do they drive? Do they live in a condo? What kind of car do they drive? What kind of neighborhood do they live in? Where do they shop? How much disposable income do they have? This list goes on and on. And believe it or not, this really narrows down who it is you're selling to. So now, when you have that picture in your mind, when you're creating your marketing plan, it becomes so much easier to target them specifically. This is going to be the biggest piece of advice I can give you. Creating that avatar is going to make a huge difference with your marketing plan. But we have another one. Your next fundamental is your marketing objectives. Do you have your picture of who it is that you're targeting? The exact picture. Now we need to know what your marketing objectives are. What are you looking to do? Are you looking to gain market share? Are you trying to increase your total sales? Perhaps you're trying to increase your customer base. Maybe you're trying to increase your penetration rate, selling faster. Only you know what your objectives are and what it is you're trying to achieve. But each and every one of these pieces that we're discussing is super important to create a well-rounded marketing plan so that you can go out there and sell your little tushies off. Next one is your marketing strategy. Now, back in the day, and this is going back a number of years, when I was in college, we had a 3-year course that I completed. In the first year, accounting and marketing went hand in hand, and they taught you both. And then in year 2 and 3, you actually separated. So in year 1, I decided and I realized that I was not a marketeer and that I really had to stay in accounting because I didn't understand what the 4 Ps were. Fast forward 20 plus years, and I think I'm getting a grasp of it, and it's a lot more fun than it was back then. But your 4 Ps, this is your marketing strategy. And what are they? Well, it's your product, your price, your place, and your promotion. Well, what does that mean? What is it that I'm selling? What am I selling it for? How much? Where am I putting it? Is it at the back of the store? Is it at the front of the store? Is it in the middle of the store? Is it online? Where am I placing it? And how am I going to promote this product? That is your marketing strategy. The next fundamental is your financial plan. So as much as I would like to say that this is not important, and this has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that I am a financial person and that I believe in accounting and keeping everything in order, ducks in a row, you need to have a financial plan. You need to be able to sit down and forecast what your projected sales are going to be or what you think they're going to be. Keep this in mind. Always project your sales to be lower, your worst case scenario. The next thing you need to do is forecast your cost on producing or delivering those products or services. In this case here, err on the high side. What are your expenditures? Your fixed costs, your variable costs. Throwing big words out there, but at the end of the day, how much money did I have to spend to make money, right? Again, err on the high side because this way you're guaranteed you're not going to budget incorrectly. We'll put it that way. A question to ask yourself, do you need financing? So you're going through these forecasted sales and the different costs. Are you going to be tight? Are you going to have a cash flow crunch? Do you need financing during certain periods of the year so that you can carry on your business? This is important, believe it or not. And you also need to do a break-even analysis. Now, this particular thing is important. I'm, again, going back to my own stories, I value price. And the way I value price is by looking at my break-even. This is how much money I spend to do what it is that I do every day. This is how much money I want to make as a profit. I put them together, and this gives me, with a bunch of other calculations, how much it is that I can price per month for my customers to provide them with the services that they need. But I need to know what my break-even point is for me to do that. That is one of the first things I have to figure out. Not only is it good in my financial planning, I absolutely need to know it in my marketing planning. Not done yet. Another point, and this is an important one, is tracking and evaluating what's going on in my marketing plan, right? Why do I need this? Well, you got to know what's working and what isn't. And the reason you need to know that is so that you can pivot if it isn't working. You need to change course, because if you don't change course, you're throwing money, good money, after a bad idea. It's not going to work. So this is where tracking and evaluating how your plan is working is going to benefit you. It helps you focus your time on what's going to make you money, right? I want to focus on areas that is going to provide me with the best return on investment. And this is why tracking and evaluating my marketing plan is going to make a huge difference. Again, I'm just not throwing balls up in the air and waiting for them to fall down. I'm going to give you a little bonus tip here. Just a little one. Set a review date. Now, I'm saying 12 months, but this is more for the traditional way of doing things. If you're in the digital space like I am, I would actually recommend that you set a review date every 3 months. Things change so quickly in the digital space that you want to be able to cut the bad out as quickly as possible, and 12 months is way too late. 2 months would be optimal, but not everybody has time for that. Every 3 months, reevaluate, 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 and then pivot. Okay, that's your tip for today. So let's recap. The fundamentals of a marketing plan. You have your situation analysis. You have your target market profile. Remember, your avatar. What are your marketing objectives? What are the strategies? The 4 Ps, remember? What's your financial plan? And don't forget tracking and evaluation. Okay? So now, creatively marketing your small business. There is so much you can do to creatively market. First, we develop your marketing plan, right? But then you can create this amazing website. I don't know who here has been to my website, but I have had some pretty interesting comments come back because it is not the average website for an accounting professional. I'm dropping some pretty interesting words and some pretty strong words, and I'm almost swearing in some of my articles, but I have a unique persona that I'm sharing. And I'm not kidding you, this is a perfect marketing tool because I'm getting and I'm attracting the people that I want to do business with. So create your website, but create it around the persona that is going to attract your avatar, and you're going to be happy with who you're attracting. Get local. This is a creative way to market your small business. But what does that mean? Join your Chamber of Commerce. If you don't have one, that's fine. But get together at other events, right? Community events. We have something called the Select Referral Network locally here. Another thing you could do is join your local BNI chapter. It's just a different way to get local. When you have street fairs, get out there. This is creatively marketing your small business so that it's cost effective. The best cost-effective way to market, though, is get social. I cannot say this enough. Social media is one of the most cost-effective ways for you to market your small business. And you are absolutely going to love the next webinar because I do a huge deep dive into some of the biggest social media platforms and how you can utilize it. Don't forget to use tools, though, because you can get carried away. Social media, timing, it's a time suck. So use tools effectively to make sure that you're getting the biggest bang for your buck. Things like content calendars. You can schedule posts, you can reuse posts. Neat Edgar, I think is one of them, and another one you could use is SmarterQ. 2 great platforms. SmarterQ actually has analytics attached to it, and absolutely love that one. I've been using it myself for the last little while. Absolutely swear by it, and it's extremely cost effective. It's saved me hundreds of dollars a month. Another one to use is Google Analytics. Google Analytics is a plethora, literally, of information that you can extract and use to your own benefit when it comes to marketing your small business. Now, I know I'm kind of running out of time. I said I was going to keep this short, so I'm going to not rush, but I'm going to go a little bit more quickly. We're going to talk about social media marketing strategies. And I'm just touching on this because, again, we're going to go into a deep dive in the next webinar. Focus on 1 or 2 platforms. You can become absolutely full-blown drowned in these platforms. Pick one, become excited about it, become proficient at it, and move on to the next one. Once you become proficient with that one, choose a 3rd one. But what I'm going to suggest is know your market, know your avatar. Where do they hang out? Where do they spend their time? Is it in Facebook? Is it on Instagram? Is it in LinkedIn? Get to know who it is that you're marketing to and use that social media platform that they want to hang out in, because that's where you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck. Post engaging content. If I had a ruler, I'd be slapping it on my hand right now. It is seriously one of the biggest mistakes that I am seeing more and more often. Engaging. Don't use social media to sell. It's not going to work. You can, but pretty much guarantee you're not going to get as much traction if you post an engaging piece of content. Why do you think kitty pictures and little baby pictures get the most likes? It's because it's engaging. Post regularly. I'm not saying go out there and post every 30 minutes because you would be doing nothing else. But post regularly. Don't post for a day, go in and respond, and then don't post for a week because you are going to drop off and the algorithms are not going to be your friend. Something else, and some people say to me, but you don't sell. And I don't. I try very hard not to sell on social media. What I do is I educate. And I educate based on the season. So if it's quote unquote tax season, I share information that is relatable to taxes for small businesses, for individuals, for pretty much anybody who wants to pay attention. If it isn't tax season and it's, we'll say, the summer, maybe we need to be posting stuff to help people feel more engaged with their businesses. Just an idea. September, it's back to school. It's like a second fresh start in the year because January 1 being the first one. You know, cleaning and minimalization and finding different ways to decrease the amount of paper on your desk. I'm just throwing ideas out there. These are posts that I would do to help people that are engaged with me better their lives. Am I selling them anything? No. But what I'm doing is I'm giving them something to A, laugh at, B, be engaged with, C, find value in, and D, when they're thinking about, oh, what did that bookkeeper? Oh yeah, that was TD accounting. I got to follow up with her because I have a tax question. I'm top of mind. Building your list. I cannot tell you how many lists that I have. I have lists based on the type of business that my business owners, my clients are in. I have lists based on the types of likes that people have. I have lists for who attends webinars. I have lists for who wants to get a tax newsletter 3 times a year. Build those lists because what you can do is you can target market to them based on what it is that they want or what it is that they do, what it is that they sell, these things. Building those lists can be absolutely one of the best ways for you to get customers in your business. There's a whole idea behind it, and there's a whole science. And once you get into it, it's really useful. We're utilizing it all the time, and I'm surprised that I haven't been utilizing it before this last year. But it's really growing our business by over 30% year over year. And lastly, seriously, engage, engage, engage. Put out a post, respond to when they post, when someone responds to your post. Someone else puts up a comment, respond. This is only increasing your reach, not only with your friends, not only with people that are part of your page or your group, but outside of that also. Increases your market share. So let's tie it all together. You need to develop a marketing plan. Create yourself an elevator pitch. Network and collaborate, really important. Remember, lots of sand and sandbox here. My favorite, tap into that digital landscape. If you are not doing it, you should be. This is where they are, and this is where the money is, and it's where we save our money too as business owners. Engage, engage, engage. I cannot say that enough. And lastly, track and evaluate. Use the tools that are out there. Use Google Analytics. Use SmarterQ. There are so many different tools that you can utilize to give you feedback on if something's working or if it isn't. Right in Facebook, there's digital tools for you to use. Right in Instagram, right in Twitter. They all have analytics now that you can use. So we're coming to the end, guys. To summarize, marketing is an essential component to small business success as it builds brand awareness and identity. It increases your sales, it engages and sustains customers, and provides opportunity for growth. That, my friends, is marketing in a nutshell, not only for startups, but for businesses as a whole. So, as promised, I am going to unmute you all and say thank you for joining. And does anybody have any questions? So the floor is open. No questions? Geez, I was that good. Okay. I'm going to assume that there are no questions at this time, and I'd like to say thank you so much for joining us this evening. You guys have been absolutely fantastic. This is the information or my contact information where you can reach out to me. Trust me, I have zero concerns if you have questions outside of this webinar. We will be taking this recording and we will be providing it to you in an email. We'll also be posting it on our website for you to access, and we'll have it on YouTube. So once again, thank you so much. It has been an absolute pleasure having this discussion with you tonight. Don't forget to sign up for the next webinar where we deep dive into social media, which I think is going to be an absolutely fantastic product or absolutely fantastic webinar. Bear in mind, it is one of my favorite topics, and I do tend to go a little bit squirrel on it. So until the next time, guys, have a great evening. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much, Tamitha.
Bye, guys.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.